think Neymar was better than Ronaldinho.
Dino!
Was Dino at that peak?
Yes!
No, he was not, man. No, he was not. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Trent's the best right back in Premier League history, in my opinion.
That's a bomb. If we had the ad-lib to... Yo, it's your boy H Blood the Sauce, Harry Pinero. Welcome back to the Inside Scoop. New year, new Harry and new Cams. Of course, I'm joined by the one and only Culture Cams in the building right now. Hope everyone's had a happy new year so far. Football's back. Our life is nothing without it. Before we start this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you're notified when we upload. It's a new year, Cams.
Yes.
So obviously, you know how it goes. You need New Year's resolutions and all that stuff.
Yes.
But we're going to relate this to football. Maybe you can lead with this in terms of how we're going to change. What's going to be different? Are we going to have different ways of thinking and talking? So I'm going to let you lead. What is your New Year's resolution for football?
All right. I've been thinking about it. And this year, what I'm going to do is put respect on ballers.
Okay.
Are you listening to what I'm saying?
Are you hearing him though?
On ballers.
Yeah.
And when I say ballers, I'm talking about technical ability. Because one thing I keep seeing now is technical ability is now starting to be pushed into this box of aesthetics. Football is the only sport which looking aesthetically pleasing, doing things becomes slander.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just aesthetics. He's just aesthetics. You know, have you ever seen a dead baller with good aesthetics?
Impossible.
There's no such thing.
Have you seen me play football? No aesthetics.
With aesthetics, you can't be a aesthetically pleasing person without high level technical ability.
True.
So for me, right, I'm not even talking about just like aesthetic. Technical ability. One thing that happens too much now is these ballers, the actual ballers, are being disrespected for guys that either can put down stats or have a good graft or are hungry and I've fell victim to that before a couple of times with certain players. But now this year, it's all about ballers. It's all about technical.
Can we get that hashtagged?
Yeah, it's all about ballers. I'm telling you,
more.
This year you're gonna see me propping ballers because, as I said, listen, if you do something to an elite level, and I will never knock you, even if you haven't got elite technical ability. If you do something like people always talk about like Mo Salah, I've already said Salah, whatever, legend. You know what I'm trying to say? But he's elite at what he does. Elite. Yeah, there's too many guys, that are not at like that level who are cutting through, doing a little 1 or 2 things, and people are ready to call them the best, the greats. Now, for me, it's all about and I always say the worst discourse on the internet is the way people talk about Phil Foden, for example. And what's he showing, man, this season? Bro, you never sleep on talent, bro. Never sleep on quality. So this year, I'm all about propping talents. And people are already getting sick of it. Because you see, they see the way I'm talking about Trent at the moment. They see the way I'm talking about Foden. And wait until they see me talk about Kobbie Mainoo. Wait until they see me load that up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
No, we got to protect him.
No, wait, listen. Yeah, I will be protecting him.
Yeah, we got to protect him.
I will be.
Let's protect Kobbie because...
I'm telling you.
Whoa. What I'm seeing... All right, cool. Before I get into mine, because you spoke about Kobbie Mainoo, I think he's a great talent. Yeah, and I think he can go on to be a great player, but do you think, the reason why he's looking so good is because of how bad Manchester United's midfield is, And do you think if we was to, I don't know, put him in a Real Madrid team right now, that he'd be showing how great he is, like how he is at United in that Real Madrid team? Because that midfield is crazy with, Tchouameni, Camavinga, and of course Jude Bellingham. How do you reckon he would fit in that team?
I still, maybe he won't be like, oh my God, we've never seen this before. Yeah. But he would, okay, listen, I'm not saying he'll go into Real Madrid right now and start killing it. I don't know.
No, of course.
But he'll have players on his wavelength. One thing that I'm seeing Kobbie Mainoo and this team is we're not on his wavelength,
Yeah.
And he's 18 years old. He's picking up the ball in areas that Bruno don't want it, McTominay don't want it. He's picking up in the first phase, second phase. He's even driving. One thing that I'm seeing about him, sometimes I see him holding himself back from going on that run, from dribbling past the man, because he still needs to get that confidence. He still needs, not even confidence, he still needs to get settled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once he's settled, we're going to see a far more expressive Kobbie as well. Like the thing about him as well, right? He's not playing with a 6 next to him. I still think he's an 8. I don't think he's a 6. He's an 8 that's going to drop in, come dribble, But I think right now he's having to do a role. And it's crazy that at 18 years old, yes, okay, we don't have the greatest squad in the world, but we're giving him the ball and saying, make things happen. Oh, yo, get the ball. Our safety pass is Mainoo. I remember when, I forgot what player it was, he said the safest pass in football is to Andrea Pirlo's feet. And that's how it looks at Manchester United at the moment. We're giving him the ball. Yes, sometimes he's been caught, but that comes with how much responsibility he's having to play with. He's still going to have to learn sometimes how many touches you take and stuff, but he's been playing at youth level. If anyone's watched Kobbie Mainoo at youth level, he was taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? And he's probably coming to this level and thinking sometimes you can do the same. It's going to be different. But the guy, the maturity that he's showing, the technical ability, this is what I'm going to say, the technical ability. Bro, if you were to put him in the Man City team alongside Foden, alongside Bernardo, alongside guys that are on the wavelength, we'll be saying, wow, what? City produced this? Do you know what I mean? Wow, look at how Cole Palmer has just gone into Chelsea. The level of coaching and the level of technical ability he has. Bro, that stuff can go anywhere. When you have tech like that, you can play anywhere. So, bro, I'm telling you, that guy's going to be a big player. Now, I'm not going to gas him up and say he's the best thing we've ever seen. But that guy, bro, we got him for free. Carrington.
Well done, Carrington.
You've done it again. I've spoken about Kobbie, and I'll continue throughout this episode to prop ballers. You know what I'm trying to say? But so, what's your football New Year's resolution?
Well, I've been known, you know, to be a bit on the fence a bit. Yeah. They call me Fence Harry. And at first, you know, I was trying to protect relationships. Yeah. But if I'm gonna be a serious quote unquote football pundit and speak my chest, then I've got to be honest. Yeah. I'm gonna call out the crap. I'm gonna call out the greatness. I'm not gonna have no sides when it comes to football, because I feel like the way I watch football, when I watch it with my friends, or you know, if I'm just watching it by myself, I judge it based off what I see, right? And I can't have an allegiance when it comes to that. So even if it's United playing bad, I've got to call them out for it. If it's a player who's dunked on my team, I need to call it out and say, yeah, you was really, really good. I've been a fan of other teams, other players, and I think it has to continue. So this year, no more fence.
No fence.
I'm not on no fence no more.
Fence.
I don't care if I messaged you yesterday. I don't care if your shirt's up there. I will tell you the honest truth, because I feel like that is the only way that I can, you know, watch football and speak about football in a holistic way, and people can understand that, right, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. I think that's where maybe my credibility would have been diminished, because it is what it is. But as a football fan, that is my main thing. And we're seeing some greatness right now, especially in the Premier League, with certain teams who we didn't rate before, but now look at them. And you know what? Another resolution, my bad. I'm okay with accountability. My bad.
In 2024. Yeah. That's important, because a lot of times, people are so caught up in, is this you or agenda that a lot of people try to avoid being accountable for stuff. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, I've said some shots and bro, I remember I was getting onto Salah all the time. I used to love Salah. Then I started getting onto him because people started comparing him to Hazard. And that annoyed me. I started getting against him, but really I'm just doing it because, why am I doing that? Because people think he's better than Hazard. It's stupid, you know what I mean? So after a while, I made the tweet. I said, listen, I'm dropping this Salah thing. He's a great player, and the only reason I'm hating on him is literally because you man put him next to one of my favorite players. You know what I'm saying? And bro, Hazard don't know, man. Why am I fighting for it like that?
No,
you know
man, just proper. He won't pass you.
It doesn't make sense. So that's one thing. But again, back to thingy. I'm telling you, eye test, fam. Eye test this year. Eye test. I don't want to see stats talk. I don't want to see progressive passes per 90. I don't want to see chances created. I don't want to see he has this many assists. Watch football. Eye test all 2024, bro.
But I've always said though, when I was growing up, the difference between great players and the world-class players was the aesthetics. It was what we saw. Like, okay, cool, you might not have assisted in a game, but your influence in the game. Like, sometimes people forget that, like, you have players like, for example, I'll speak about Riquelme. Riquelme wasn't a player who scored so many goals, but in that Villarreal team, he was the lead anchor of why there was so much creativity, the chances created, the skipping past players and giving it to a winger to whip it in for someone to score. Like, I think people have forgotten about that because, like you said, Opta index and stats and XG. There was no XG when we was growing up, and that's why when I say that, like, maybe it's nostalgia, but I always say that the game was more beautiful back then because it was actually about the football. It wasn't about who scored the most goals. Something that we're starting to see, I think, Ronaldo, Messi, they're the ones that have, quote unquote, not ruined football, but we now focus primarily on how many goals he scored. A player can have a horror game, 1 assist, but he got an assist in the game, and you know, he had created chances. Where's the goals? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it doesn't add up. And for me, I think I'm gonna watch football the way I want to watch it. I'm not gonna get caught up in what you lot are talking about. Some of the greats, the most players that probably have, I don't know, 50 goals in their career, are still some of the greatest players we've ever seen. Exactly. So for me, I'm not falling into what everyone else is saying.
And the thing is, like, football is so extreme, right? When they talk about it, like, you have to separate eye test and stats. Why? Things can be combined as well. People seem to always want to separate it. Listen, I always say, as you just mentioned, all the greatest players of all time, they were brilliant to watch. I wanted to watch Cristiano Ronaldo. I wanted to watch Messi. I wanted to watch Zidane, R9, Ronaldo. You wanted to watch all these guys. It's no surprise that most of them as well have the highest technical ability levels that we've seen. So a lot of the times when people are trying to prop guys who they don't even particularly enjoy watching, they're having a good season or whatever, and you start calling them the greats and all this type of stuff, it doesn't really make sense to me, bro. Like, because I feel like then you're not really being honest with yourself. I remember as you were talking about growing up and stuff, like, if I wanted to hear how good Kobbie is, I had to go and watch him, bro. If somebody went and brought me Kobbie's stats, I would have been like, this guy sucks, bro. But I had to go and watch him and be like, yo, this Kobbie guy at Inter Milan is crazy. Yo, this is how we used to see the game, bro. Like, we used to have to Eurosport. We used to have to try any ways of getting to see it. But now everything's so accessible. You can compare players so easily. Man are making comps as soon as the game is finished.
I ban comps 2024. Bro, no. Ban comps 2024. Because I've been a victim. I won't know this player from Adam. We're linked with him. I go on YouTube. Oh my God, he's great.
Scout Nation, all these type of things.
So for me, I just think we need to, again, people need to, I guess we don't have the time to do that all the time, but start watching games. Start seeing the level of what these players that are being touted as great talents. Go watch them first. You get me? And you know, there's certain players I feel like the defenders are players that we've never really associated with technical ability because your job is to defend and release the ball. But you do see some defenders like Virgil van Dijk, who is aesthetically pleasing when he passes the ball. Rio was like that as well. John Stones is like that. So there is players, and those and it's so mad because it's like those are the reasons why we say they're better than most defenders, is because they can do more than just what the defending is. So it's I think, bro, like
have
I
you
said,
ever seen Ball Don't Stop? Have you ever seen? He's a basketball analyst. He's the one that he has like a turban.
No, I don't think I have.
Like, he's the one. I don't know if you've ever seen like some video where there's some guy saying like, turn around jumper, fade away. I don't know if you've seen that. Anyway, basically, he's like he's purely on pure hooper. He's the one that made the term pure hooper. Right. Well, popularized it. He's the one, only pure hoopers, bro. Like, he struggles. He's a madman. I'm not this far, but he struggles to rate like Giannis. He struggles to rate LeBron, bro. But because all he likes is pure hooping. And I think listen, I'm not saying I'm going to go that far, but what his actual ideology, a lot of the times I agree with, because it's like football, yes, it's a results-based business, but at the same time, you're meant to enjoy it, bro. You're meant to enjoy it. And not only that, you're meant to walk away and be like, yo, that was sick.
Do you know what reminds me of?
That was that. Do you know where I'm coming from?
A pure hooper for me was when, like, I loved the way Juan Mata used to take free kicks. The technique, the way he's like, body would move, like, that is for me is like, that's when you are above what the norm is for football. If I take a free kick, it looks like I've eaten a kebab just before. And I'm not a professional football player, but still, it's just that's something you learn or you're born with. Like, there's a flair, like Iverson when he's shooting. There's a you know what I'm trying to say? There's a swag to it.
This is what I'm trying to say. So, like, for example, I always try and use this example, like when I'm messing around with my boys who are like Lakers fans and stuff, I say these things, but for example, you see Tim Duncan. I'm just saying basketball terms. You see Tim Duncan and you have Kobe. Tim Duncan's resume might be better. Tim Duncan might have won more games. Always 50 games every year, blah, 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 blah. But there's no basketball fan, no basketballer that's played against them, or no basketballer purist that will ever say Tim Duncan's better than Kobe Bryant.
No, of course not.
Because the way Kobe played the game is so important. I feel like people just dissociate that in football now. It's like, don't care how you play the game. Don't care if you're doing numbers or if you're a grafter or whatever. That's why we rate you. And I'm just like, nah, I'm done with that. I'm done with that, bro. I test all year, man. I test.
All right, so the FA Cup.
Yes.
Obviously, that's a trophy that Arsenal are... I think they've won it the most, right? Mm-hmm. They've won it 14 times?
14 times.
14 times. And they won't win it more than 15 because they got knocked out by Liverpool. Now, obviously, that game was it's a big game for both teams. I think, especially for Arsenal, losing 2 games in a row. And this was supposed to be the game where they was supposed to rectify that. And they had so many chances. I think for the first half, it could have been 4-5-0 with the amount of chances that they had. But the big problem that they've had, and they had it last season, was, you know, the final third, finishing. Is this a big problem for Arsenal, or is this something that can be rectified? Do they have the firepower to be able to deal with it? Yeah. Do they need to go into the transfer window in January to sort it out? Because, you know, Liverpool didn't play incredibly well, but they stayed in the game enough to actually get the 2 goals. One was an own goal, and obviously Diaz scored a great goal. Honourable mention to Trent, because Trent was...
I'm going to talk about Trent.
Was brilliant in that game as well, and Konate was literally made that turf his. But yeah, going back to my question about Arsenal, like, what does this mean for Arsenal and also Arteta? Because I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans been speaking about Arteta, saying that he's fraudulent, saying Arteta out, saying that, you know, he's had the chances. This is his second title challenge in season, and it's slowed down quicker than it did last season. So yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
With the Arteta situation, I would keep Arteta. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'll keep Arteta in this present moment, you know what I mean? Because one thing I think Arsenal need to do now, listen, I don't think they need to change manager. I just think that'll be reactionary. You know what I mean? Keep Arteta. Yes, he's shown certain patterns over his time at Arsenal where it's like, remember when they were going for the top 4 and when they finished 5th, they bottled it late. Last season, they bottled it late. And this season, I wouldn't say they bottled it. They haven't bottled anything, but it's looking a bit shaky right now. But look, I think a lot of the thing as well is, yes, he has changed the system and he will be responsible for that. You know what I mean? The questions towards him is understandable in terms of you changed the system and it's made you guys worse. You know what I mean? Statistically, everything is worse. You know what I'm trying to say? Except from XG conceded, which they're doing well and they're pretty solid. But everything is kind of worse for Arsenal this season. So he will have to take responsibility for that. But also, look, this is the problem when you have these young squads, when everyone praises you, we have this young, exciting squad. But if you have a very young squad, you got to be ready for this roller coaster sometimes. And you guys are pushing in a good position. Obviously, they're still third, I think 5 points off the top of the table. But this is the issue because you're relying on people who are still going through their development phase. If everyone's still going through a development phase, how can you expect 100% consistency? You're not going to get that. So when we're looking at, I say Saka's not a world-class player, Martinelli's not world-class, Jesus, Odegaard, they're not world-class in my opinion. And that's not their fault. They're 22, 23, 21, whatever. They're just good players. But they don't have anyone, Saka doesn't have anyone where he could just be like, do you know what? Night off, my man's going to turn up for me. Bro, remember when Man United were at the best and we had Rooney, Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo and Rooney, they had Van Nistelrooy. Ronaldo and Rooney, they had Giggs. They had Scholes. They had Rio, G-Nev. But there's days that Ronaldo and Rooney weren't carrying us. Giggsy, drop us 3 assists, please, in one game. That's what he would do. Scholes, can you pull out a screen marker? Worldy, that's what they'll do. We can go through every young player that's become elite. But Messi had Ronaldinho. Yeah. Messi had Xavi. Even Messi needed that. Like Messi, Ronaldo. So as much as I say Saka's not world class, these guys ain't world class, they don't have anyone to lean on, bro. Their captain is 24 in Odegaard. He doesn't have anyone to lean on. So that's why when they lost Xhaka, it's maybe like, okay, now I'm not saying Xhaka's the level of Ronaldinho, Van Nistelrooy and these guys, but that's experience. Saliba, wow, what a talent. He could go be a Galactico, but he's still young too. They don't have anyone at Arsenal where that can bail them out or that's follow my lead. Now, that's meant to be Gabriel Jesus. He's not looking like that. He's that guy. He's not looking like he's that guy. Again, technically, I like him. Well, I love watching him, but he's not going to put the ball in the back of the net. So, as much as Arsenal have a coaching issue, they also have at the moment, they also have a personnel issue. You've got a young team trying to grow together, and it's not going to be sturdy. But obviously, you led with Arteta and what you've been seeing. Where do you stand on the Arteta conversation? Because as I said, I think it's a bit harsh. I don't think I'd get rid of him. You can question him, but I'm seeing people say, we'll never win with him again. I'm like, you never know, bro. You can't just write off that much. So where do you stand on that? I think you got better Arsenal bridges as well.
Yeah. No, I think I'll agree with you in terms of, I don't think they should sack Arteta. I think what Arteta's achieved so far with the team that he inherited, Emery's team, and to be able to like even still challenge, obviously he won an FA Cup in his first season. I think the signs of progression are undoubtedly there. I think the fact that they have a young team is a good basis. And for a young group of players, there are some great players, good players there that can become great players, But I agree with what you're saying. I think the experience aspect of it, when I look at Man City, when I look at Liverpool, when I look at Chelsea, the teams that have won the leagues have all had elements of experience. I'll go back to John Terry being on the bench and still being able to be that player to give the players who are playing that advice, that knowledge to say, okay, see in this game, we don't go and attack. Obviously there's coaching, but there's in-game management from players that need to happen. And I think sometimes when I've watched Arsenal this season, they don't seem to have an idea. Who is the player that is going to take the game by the scruff of the neck? Chances is one thing, but it's having chances and not giving up. I think in that game against Liverpool, we saw the inexperience and we saw the cutting edge from Liverpool. That comes down to having a manager who's been there before, who's won the trophy before, so understands that it is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, I think the way Arsenal started this season was very, very good in terms of like getting the dirty wins, but there's only so much you can win 1-0. There's only so much you can concede possession in crazy moments in the game where it's very vital. And I think Zinchenko, for example, has looked a bit shaky. And I think in a backline, especially at the Arsenal's backline, you need to be solid. If you are going to concede many, many chances and not score them, then at least keep a clean sheet. And I think that's what I'm finding difficult for Arsenal and also Arteta. Arteta's problem, is that he works so hard on getting Arsenal to a certain level, and that level is just not good enough. It needs to be higher. And I think Arsenal fans are becoming a bit more reluctant to trust him simply because they believe that they should have won the league last season. And if they don't do it this season, it's going to look like a failure. And I don't look at it like that. I still think Man City is the best team in the country. I still think that Liverpool are the second best team in the country. I think with Arsenal, in order for them to prove, they definitely need to get a striker, because I think that is the main problem for them. They get a world-class striker, a striker who has experience. They get another midfield player who, like for example, Jorginho's done it all, but Jorginho doesn't play. Jorginho is considered as, maybe a squad player rather than someone who is, supposed to be there, but he's done it. He's won the Euros. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League. So it's like, these are players that you would be using, but I don't think that they have the power in that team. I think Declan Rice is more of a standout figure in that team.
But even Declan Rice has walked into that team, and everyone's saying, give him the captain armband, me included. But bro, Declan Rice would need somebody just saying, hey, you see here, you could have done this, you could have done... Maybe that could be Jorginho, I don't know, they play in the same position. But you would also need... Declan Rice is young too. Declan Rice, this is the first time he's playing consistently at the big time. West Ham, with all due respect to West Ham, I love West Ham, but this, you get where I'm coming from. Is this the first time where all eyes are on him? And then he's already in this leadership captain role. Now, it's good to be you could be a young leader, that's great. But at the same time, you still need players you can feed off, bro. When Hazard was coming through, obviously he was a wonder kid at Lille, but when he was coming through at Chelsea, he still had John Terry's, he still had Lampards and stuff. Trent still had Salahs and you know what I mean? He had these type of players around who are ready to prime, to peak. So you can't just do it by, not even, I don't want to say by yourself, but you do need people around you. And the thing is, Arteta is a young coach too. If he had peak Jose, it's different. Jose won it all. Yeah, I mean, follow my lead, bruv. Yeah, I mean, I've done it all. I'm a European champion. You follow me. Yeah, I mean, Pep, follow me. It's different. But when you have a young manager as well as a young squad, you're going to go through these. Bro, remember when we were young, how many times did you get gassed at situations? How many times did you get your first bit of money and you got gassed and you did a madness and then you blew it all or whatever? as young people, we're emotional, bro. When the highs are high, we are right. When the lows are low, we're like,
damn. Yeah.
We're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
and it takes time.
You're looking around, but you're looking for the elders, aren't you? You're to tell you, or your dad, or whoever. Yo, like, well, you're moving mad right now. And what you about to say? It takes time, bro.
It does take time, but I think the issue I have with football is that football is it's fast paced. We need results now. Yeah. And I think they're not going to give time to Arteta because of the pressure of what's happened last season. I think if Arsenal didn't finish where they finished last season or didn't have the season they did, I think this season would be more like, all right, if we can finish second or third, it will be a great season and we develop. I think Arsenal will definitely win the league with Arteta if they buy the firepower, the experience that is needed in order to have a real proper team. It's proven. Over the years, you mentioned Man United, you mentioned Chelsea. These are teams that won the leagues back to back. These are teams that was in control of English football for a while. And the reason why is because they had young talent and then they also had great players. I think the mark of a good team for me is to have young players that are really, really good and also have experienced players that are good, and the young players don't take away from what the experienced players are doing who are approaching their prime. You need to have a very fair balance in order for that team to progress properly. And I think Arsenal just have the young aspect of it. And when you say they lack experience, it's showing, innit? So
it's not like their young players are generational.
No,
if their young players were Kylian and Haaland, and then cool. But these are young players that still need guidance. Bro, remember when John Terry became the captain of Chelsea? He became captain of Chelsea at 23, and I think Steven Gerrard did as well. Hippier said, you know what, I'll give you, I think he even said, I don't want the captaincy, or he said, he gave the captaincy to Gerrard, right? Boom. Gerrard still had Carragher and these guys, but Hippier was still there. Hamann was still there. These type of guys to still be the leader. Yeah, you're the poster boy, but we got these leaders around you. Do you know what I'm saying? John Terry, I remember he took it off Desai, but he had all these other guys around him, experienced guys. So even though you're the face of the club, we're still going to kind of guide you. It's the same thing happening at Chelsea. Reece James, captain. All right, but who's around you that's going to guide you? Nobody.
Apart from Thiago Silva,
And Thiago didn't want the armband, whatever. But Thiago's at that stage of his career where he's thinking, I personally think he's thinking about himself. Like, how long can I prolong my career? I'm going to be putting out performances. I don't think he wants to be he didn't want to be the captain. He didn't want that responsibility. He just needs to focus on stretching his career as long as possible, maybe getting a new deal and seeing what happens. But again, Reece James is captain. These are young guys, bro. Like, it's too much. I'm not saying it's too much pressure, but we have to expect the inconsistencies in these guys. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, that doesn't take away how much I rate the players. As I said, like, I think Saka's good. I think Martinelli's good. Odegaard's good in that, but I don't think they're world class. Now, I'm not going to say, they're world class players, but they're young. No. But at the same time, bro, they are going to need some kind of experience. But football's moving younger. That's the problem. So Arteta's next few signings, they're linked to Onana. He's 22. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's
my view is, I agree with what you're saying about the experience because it's been proven. I wouldn't agree with you if I didn't feel like there's enough evidence to prove that when you have experience in your team along with emerging young talent, you put that together, it's a recipe for success. We've seen it with United, class of 92. They had Palisters, they had, Steve Bruce's, they had all these players there that were approaching the end of their career but had enough gems to give them to, and you're looking up to people that have done it for a long time and been successful. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to follow suit and create my own legacy for themselves. It's going to be very difficult for Arsenal to do that. But
one question before you move on. Do you think Saka is going through what Rashford went through?
I wouldn't say it's
the over.
I'm about to say
there's an over reliance on the player. They're now starting to play through injuries. They have been playing through injuries. Remember, Rashford broke his back, bro. Basically broke his literally to play for Ollie's team, right? And in the long run, it ended up going backfiring for him in a way. You know what I mean? Because the injuries kind of got to him. Kind of started, I want to say he's lost his pace, but that burst that he had a little bit has gone a little bit. Do you see the same thing? That kind of signing of a new contract, which basically establishes you as the guy.
Yeah.
Do you see, I'm starting to see I'm just seeing some similarity. I feel like Saka now probably thinks
tired, bro.
He also thinks now I need to get more numbers because I'm the guy of the team and stuff. Whereas I think at this age still, he should just still be trying to play exciting, excite the people, do things. It doesn't have to get started, doesn't have to, but it's demanded of him now. Do you see it? I see a little bit of similarities, bro. But Saka's what, 22? 22.
Yeah,
23.
he's still a kid,
25.
man.
By 25, would you be surprised to see Saka kind of move in the same direction as Rash now?
My view of Saka is, what we saw last season and the seasons before is that he is very explosive and he's very exciting to watch, and he can create moments in a game in which like are defining. Like, but I think right now, like you said, the over-reliance on Saka is proven heavy. It is a very heavy burden to carry for him, innit? I also think he's very, very tired. There was a record that he broke of the most consistent appearances in an Arsenal shirt.
Oh yeah, it was like over 90
He's an actual kid. And this is what
games.
I think, going back to what we were speaking about the quote-unquote strength and depth in comparison to strength and quality. I don't think they have strength and quality, because if you take off Saka on that right-hand side, who do you put there? So it's like...
I like that term.
Yeah.
Strength and quality.
Yeah,
you're spitting there. I like that.
You know me. I'm trying my little stuff.
That's a strength and quality.
Yeah, like I feel like for me, the only player that can play on that side is Reece Nelson, and Reece Nelson doesn't even get minutes either. I think sometimes, with Arteta, because of, like I said, the lack of strength and quality, he has to play Saka. You have to play your strongest, your best player. But if he's not providing the performances that he was before, it's gonna look worse than what it is. And I don't think Saka's playing horribly wrong, but I just think it's dropped immensely.
Like Rashford.
Yeah, it's dropped. But I don't... Rashford's weren't even...
Rashford this season is diabolical. Yeah. I'm talking about Rashford. There started coming a time where Rashford's performances were poor, but he'll get the numbers.
I think Rashford's different, because I think Rashford it's not just the performance.
His body language and stuff.
I've never looked at Saka and thought he doesn't look like he wants to play.
I agree.
So I feel like with Saka, it's just more... It could be a mental thing in terms of, bro, I'm tired. Do you know what? I don't have the... My mind's not creative enough today to be able to do what I was doing before, because he's had chances and he hasn't scored them. And I think sometimes as a player, and anything in life, any walk of life, like, you might not be at it at your best, and you need that rest. I think Saka needs a few weeks off on the bench and just chill. And the thing is, but he can't, because of how important he is to Arsenal. And it's like, then I look at it like, all right, cool. Obviously, Smith Rowe doesn't play in that position. We got Reece Nelson. You have Trossard. You have players that can give Saka that time, because he is so important. You're going to need him in the latter stages of the season. And what I don't want for him, God forbid, is for him to get injured. And then that's when the question starts happening about, is Saka going to... Surgeries and all of that other stuff. And for me, that's the issue I have with Saka. So I don't think he's at that level, but I just think he looks very, very tired. Like, it doesn't look as explosive as before. Even Martinelli, it looks like he's run out of ideas.
I think when it comes to... we'll move on for Arsenal, because we're talking too long on them. But I think as well, at the same time, I would consider maybe just shifting Saka's position for a bit. Give him a run at left wing. Give him a run at maybe... they're dying for a left centre midfielder at the moment, because we're not even going to talk about Kai Havertz, because they think them 3 goals in a row fooled anybody. If you're noble, that didn't fool the masses, right? But they need somebody in the left centre midfield position that can drive up the ball, connect with Martinelli, connect with the left back, and connect up front. You got a player right there in Bukayo Saka. Do people remember Bukayo Saka came through as a left back? Then when he started developing, moved to left wing. Then he moved to the right wing. So why are we acting like he can't play on other sides? But the guy's a very versatile player, and that's when he came through, that was my biggest thing that I liked about him. I've got a post on Instagram from 2020 ranking Greenwood, Foden, Reece James, and Saka, like who's the best ones. You know, one thing I wrote about Saka is his IQ. The ability to play in multiple positions. To play in multiple positions, you need an IQ, right? And he can do that. So if I was Arsenal or Arteta, I know the right wing position might not be stacked at the moment, but I'll just give it a little tink.
That's why I mentioned the Smith Rowe. Like, just move it around, man.
I don't know. I feel like managers nowadays, like,
he's stubborn. I think one thing about Arteta I've seen, he's very stubborn. It
takes too long for managers to make like drastic calls. Like I remember, like, again, I don't want to always compare people to like Fergie and stuff, but even Pep last season, it wasn't going well. He said, all right, I'm doing 4 centre backs. I'm doing inverted stones. We're going to go win the treble. Drastic change that he did. We're bringing Rico Lewis. He's going to show you guys just how to be professional, because you guys think you've done it all, Cool. he's going to be like my little crash dummy till you guys get serious. But he did something drastic. We've seen it with Fergie as well. Drastic. Sometimes Fergie will make man go on the right, go on left. Rooney, do you know what? Ronaldo's annoying me a little bit on the left. Ronaldo's going to go up top. Rooney, you'll do some dog work on the left. Get active. But I don't know, man. All these systems and, bro, I don't know, man. People don't rely on just players' ability no more. Yo, Saka, you're able to go and do that. Go do a job for me there, please. For 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They don't want to do that no more. It's the system has to be this and the way we pass it through here. Bro, the game is going in a mad place, right? I'm telling you, man. Madness, man, honestly. But quickly on Liverpool.
Yes.
I saw something in that Liverpool game.
Did you see what I saw?
What did you see?
I saw title elect.
Really, yeah?
No. What I saw is...
depleted squad as well.
What I did see was resilience. I saw that even though they was conceding so many chances, they never gave up. And I saw individual quality along with collectiveness as a group of players. Konate was incredible. I think he proved why I think he should be. I did tweet him and Saliba should be the starting centre backs for the French national team. But I think Konate is becoming. Only thing with him is that injuries. You haven't seen enough of him. But what a player he was in that game. I think Trent was absolutely phenomenal in that game. Listen. Like again, you speak about that after, and then Luis Diaz. But also my man of the match for me in terms of just putting people on a poster was Darwin Núñez. Now he doesn't get. What he did with Saliba about holding up the ball, it's just a nuisance. Like I don't think, obviously you can say Konate was the man of the match, but in the final third, for me, I think that the link up that he did, it was all going through him really. He was the bully in the final third for me, and I think with him, he does everything right apart from the finishing. I think once that finishing come, hopefully, just because I'm a football fan, I just can't wait to see that man start scoring goals because he does everything correct. But for me, I think that Liverpool performance just showcases what a good coach Klopp is and the understanding that the Liverpool team have. He can bring in any player. They brought in some young academy players and they came in and didn't look out of place as well. And I think that's what shows that Liverpool are a very, very good team. And this season, they're very, very different to what they was last season. They understand the job at hand.
What I saw, as well, is it was a potential look into the future Liverpool. There was no Van Dijk. There was no Mo Salah. Trent took over.
No Szoboszlai.
But he'll be part of the future Liverpool. But Trent, captain, that's the long-term future for Liverpool, right? Trent as captain. Konate taking over Van Dijk, that is what Liverpool fans want to see. Because at the end of the day, you want successions. You always want that. So we took a little bit of a look at potentially Liverpool in the future, and they handled it pretty well. Obviously, they're going to bring in different players. And a little mention as well, he came off, but I like him, is Harvey Elliott as well. Harvey Elliott is 20. 20. Bro, Saka's 22, Foden's 23. He's so young, bro, but he's been about for so long, bro. He started playing for Fulham at 16. I mean, they went Blackburn, and he's been about for so long that it's crazy that he's 20. So we saw like a look potentially into who Liverpool's key men in the future could be. And that was kind of interesting for me to see, you know what I mean? Because every time you lose your biggest players, you just want to see who can step up. And Liverpool know that they've got a Konate who's an absolute beast, right? And if he can stay fit, he'll be Liverpool's long-serving centre-back for many, 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 many years. And Trent, we know he's 25 years old. We know what he's going to do. For me, I think, may sound crazy. Don't care if he's 25 or what. Trent's the best right-back in Premier League history, in my opinion. The best.
That's a bomb. If we had the ad-lib to...
The best.
All right, what makes him the best right-back in Premier League history for you? Versatility?
But have you ever seen a transformative fullback like Trent in England?
Nah, not in England.
Have you ever seen an impactful fullback like Trent in England, bro? He is the system. He is arguably one of the best passers we've ever seen in English football, bro. Scholes's, Beckham's, Gerrard's, Trent's is going to be in that conversation, bro. I haven't seen bro. It's mad because even in football, we've seen Roberto Carlos's, Marcelo's, Cafu, Dani Alves and stuff. But have you seen them actually just be the system? He's the system, bro. Like, Trent is Liverpool move on Trent.
Well, yeah, on what Trent's doing.
And people are going to talk about defensively. The greatest fullbacks ever have always been attacking fullbacks. The greats. Yeah, I mean, you might have some odd exceptions in Maldini who moved to left back or started at left back, whatever. But the best ones have always been able to go forward relentlessly. And I just named them: Marcelo, Carlos, Dani Alves, and Cafu, if you want to say. But Trent, bro, I haven't seen anything like this in England.
And
bro.
the aesthetics that you were talking about earlier on, he has them in abundance. Yeah.
He has, bro.
Do you know what I think?
Are people trying to tell me they don't see Kyle Walker get taken on?
No, but
are you trying to tell me you ain't seen Gary Neville get taken on?
Do you know what I think with Trent? Yeah, I think what you're saying, this is something that will happen. Yeah, I think we are now seeing Trent's prime. He's approaching his prime. I think we're gonna, like you said, with this Liverpool team, it's young. The players that Klopp have signed, like for example, like Endo, these are players that have.
Endo's actually 30.
But even so, my point is like him being in that team, yeah, it's just working. Like Gravenberch, all these players, yeah, they all work for the system. But I think with Trent, yeah, this is the beginning. I think this for me will be his best season in terms of like, obviously they've won Champions Leagues and so on and so forth, but this is a bit more difficult. He now has a leading role in this one. I think when they won the Champions League with, you had Bobby, you had Sadio, and you had Salah. Them two have gone now. Now it's you. The amount of progressive passes that this guy makes, the amount of chances that he's hit crossbars bare left, right, and centre this season. I think what you're saying is true, but I think it's not there yet.
Who do you think's better?
For me personally, I think with Kyle Walker's career, yeah. Listen to me, hear me out.
He's just not Trent.
I know he's not. Okay, listen, hear me out.
Not Trent.
But Kyle Walker's best seasons are in the past. And those seasons, yeah, he was phenomenal. I think what we're seeing with Trent, it's always happens, bro. When you see someone new, you forget about.
He's revolutionary.
No, he is, but he still has more to give. If Trent stops now, that conversation, it's not even, you can't even have it. So my point is, we need to see a few more years of that, of this level that he's shown this season for us to say, okay, do you know what?
Yeah.
But if you're asking about player for player, in individuality and what he can offer, then of course Trent has it in abundance.
This is why I said, but I like your point though, because for me, Walker can be the greatest, if you want to say, Walker, whoever people want to ask me, Neville, Ivanovic, whatever, greatest, but the best. You see the word the best? This is what I'm talking about. This is my eye test 2024.
Oh no, he dropping that.
This is what I'm talking about. He is the best. Now, okay, again, you can talk about greatness or whatever. I always say, when we're talking about like Ronaldinho's and these people could say like Iniesta is greater than Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho is better than him, bro. Do you get where I'm coming from?
No,
he's better. Yeah, Iniesta's greater, but Ronaldinho is better than him, bro. Do you get where I'm coming from? And that's how I see it. Trent is better than Walker, bro.
Just because you mentioned Ronaldinho, because I said something and it's going to come out soon. I think Neymar was better than Ronaldinho.
Not for me.
I think
we can get into that discussion one day.
Yeah, I think Neymar's better than Ronaldinho.
You actually think so, yeah?
I think
nah, not for me.
I think Ronaldinho, we have this thing with Ronaldinho, yeah, where we know how great he was. Like he was unreal. But Neymar toyed with football.
So did Dino.
No, but not the
Dino made football a game, bro.
No, but not the way Neymar.
No. What?
Neymar.
No, Dino.
Dino. I love Dino, don't get me wrong. But Neymar.
Football was his playground.
Neymar. Bro. Do you know when I know Neymar was taking a fucking piss? Yeah. There was a game, yeah. Obviously, this is Ronaldinho towards the end of his career, yeah? When they both played for Brazil.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What Neymar did, was like, Dad, just please, over there, you stay there. This is my show. And I think with Neymar, we're just looking at PSG's his PSG career and thinking, oh, he's lost it. Bro, at Barcelona.
Yeah, he was peak. Dino!
Was Dino that peak?
Yes!
No, he was not, man. No, he was not. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Yes,
I don't care. Neymar's the greatest Brazilian player.
When Dino's doing this against Gattuso, Pinero,
Puskas go, come on, bro.
No. When he's doing toe poking it at the bridge.
Neymar, okay, those goals, You see those goals, yeah? You see, okay, that Champions League, yeah? If Arsenal, if Thierry Henry scored that goal, there'll be no Champions League.
Thierry Henry, let's have a conversation, innit? Should we drag Henry into this conversation?
Henry, best Premier League player of all time, not the greatest player of all time. Neymar will never be considered as the greatest player of all time. But eye test.
He's up there.
See what you're talking about, eye test.
He's way up
Who's got a better eye test, Ronaldinho or Neymar? Come on now, man. Don't contradict yourself. Don't contradict yourself. Don't contradict yourself. Do not contradict yourself.
That is mad. Are you trying to say that Ronaldinho... I can't contradict myself because Ronaldinho is one of the greatest eye tests ever.
I'm not saying, but is he got a better eye test than Neymar?
I enjoyed Ronaldinho more.
You're sitting on the fence. You're sitting on the fence.
I enjoyed Ronaldinho more.
Let me know in the comments if I've gone mad.
Listen, both of them are mad. And Neymar's got that kind of, the lower center of gravity. But Dino had that strength on him as well when he was moving, bro. It's different. Obviously, Neymar's one of the best, but Dino, for me, he's still the best, bro. He's still the greatest in this discussion that we're having.
All I'm saying is, in the World Cup, it wasn't Ronaldinho. He scored one goal, one good goal. It was R9.
In what?
In the World Cup of 2002.
What? And did you see the destruction of England?
What?
Did you see the destruction of England?
I watched that game. It wasn't a destruction. It was 2-1.
Did you see?
It was 2-1.
Did you see Dino's game? Did you see Dino's game when Dino picked up the ball and gave Scholes? No, he gave Ashley Cole. Cha.
Yeah, okay.
It switches to Ronaldo. With his head.
No. Do you know what it is? Can I be honest with you? I just wanted to troll today because I wanted some fire. I like when I argue with Cabs. Obviously, Ronaldinho, for me, is goated. Like, absolutely incredible player. But I think with Neymar, bro, there was something about him, that I think if he didn't leave Barcelona, if he didn't get injured, we'll be talking about him as the best. But injury...
I agree.
And that's my point. Like it's like Ronaldinho. If Ronaldinho focused on just football, no one would be near him. But there was something about Neymar that when I watched him, I said, "Who the fuck can do this? Nobody can." Nobody. And then even I think there's a quote about Ronaldinho saying, "This is it. This is him."
I always said Neymar. The stuff that Neymar can do. It's funny because the discussion we're having between these two, the stuff that Ronaldinho could do. Only Neymar could do. The stuff that Neymar can do, only no one else in history. And that's not even no one else could do what they could do. That's what I'm saying. In terms of the skill, the flair, the way they go, no one can do what they do. Zidane had his own ways.
And you know what they both
had his own ways.
You know what they both had? Them two incredible passing. Their passing was outrageous. Nah, you know what? It's giving me goosebumps thinking about the eye test.
Thank you.
We love the aesthetics.
You want to talk about ballers, not once. Do you know what I just love? Give me a handshake right now. Not once in this thing did we mention a stat.
No.
We didn't mention one stat.
I don't care about your goals.
We didn't mention one stat.
Talk to me about how
you didn't say 38 goals. We didn't mention one stat. That's how you want ball conversations.
Can I apologize as well?
Yes, you're moving mad. No. Don't bring his shirt back in, bro.
No. I'll bring it. Do you know what it is? I was rude about the final, about the Champions League. I had to. No, I had to. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Actually, you did mention a stat. You talked about his World Cup stat. This guy's a hater, man. These guys are haters.
No, I love Ronaldinho. Zidane's better though. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm a Zidane guy as well.
All right, so it got off topic.
I don't even know where we are now.
But
let's get back up the notes. Yeah. All right. Premier League. We got Tottenham. Might be good.
Can I be honest with you this season? Now Ineos are in, I can't wait till the end of the season.
Are you excited for Ineos?
I've seen a lot about Sir Jim. Sir Dave Brailsford as well.
Jean-Claude is there.
Yeah. I've read all of the things that they've done in football, right? Yeah. And I understand that what they will do is deconstruct Manchester United right now. I'm sure they understand that it's an absolute shit show right now. And in order for it to get right, they have to change the way things are with contracts, so on and so forth, innit? So I'm not really looking at this season as anything else but, you know what, wherever we finish, innit? I think the hope of us finishing higher than we expected has gone for me. I think that we can't go nowhere with these current group of players. No. A lot of them have to go, and I think if Ineos are going to be successful, then I think that's what they're going to be having to do. We just have to take each game as it comes. If they are going to show up, they're going to show up. I also said that I'm not going to allow Man United this season to determine my mood, because that's what it was. I believed a lot in that team, and I don't think that it was repaid as a fan in it. So this season, bro, if Tottenham are a better team than us this season, by a mile away, we've already lost to them this season already. This could be the second one. And it will just showcase where we are right now. I also do believe that, you know, we have a striker right now who is low on confidence. He's getting a chances, low on confidence. Anthony's injured. Garnacho's probably been one of our best players this season in terms of...
He's better on the right.
Yeah, he does. And then obviously Rashford still looks shadow of the player he is as well. So Johnny Evans and Rafael Varane, a partnership we didn't think it was going to be. Luke Shaw, don't know where he's been. So it's just, for me, it's just like, whatever happens in that game, it happens. My heart's not as heavy as it was before. So if we lose to Tottenham, we lose to Tottenham. Bro.
I mean, I'm in the exact same position in terms of it's all about who stays, who goes now. Yeah, that's the position that we're in now. How does the club transform in this position? And these guys are walking into. It seems hard because of where Man United are, but at the same time, it's also a good position to be in because we need them. You know what I mean? We need change. So they have free reign to do whatever they want. Sir Dave Brailsford, he seems like a mouthpiece a little bit wary of him. I'm not gonna lie. Like he seems like Sir Jim's Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? Like Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? That's how it seems. But so I'm not too sure about him. He has no experience in football, which he's admitted. You know what I mean? He's done the Team GB thing. They got busted for drugs as well. So he's a bit 50-50. But Sir Jim's worked in football. Nice are doing quite well right now. Not all of his teams have done successful, but he knows it. Jean-Claude
took Juventus
from Serie B, built a new stadium, made them this unbeaten team, unbelievable. He also made PSG the most, not obviously other than the Man United and Real Madrid and maybe Barcelona, the most marketable team in the world. So he has shown wherever he puts his expertise, whether it's on the football side or the commercial side, marketing side, he's excellent. So that's encouraging. Now it's about who do they want to bring in. We're linked with Dan Ashworth. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Dan Ashworth is at Newcastle right now doing a sporting director role, I believe, but he wants more responsibility. Dan Ashworth, from what I've read, bro, he's the reason why this England team look like how we are now. When England needed a change, he's the one that got in there and transformed St. George's Park in terms of how it operates. And since he's been in charge, England have won at under 17 level, under 19 level. I think maybe have we won at under 21 level? I can't remember.
We did in
in
the summer.
Yeah, under 21 level. So the only thing that's waiting now is the men's team, but he has gone in there and done such a good look into it. Dan Asher has done a really good job, so he will be in kind of like a sporting director role, and then it comes down to the DOF. You know what I mean? Like if it's Paul Mitchell, whoever it is, you can only look at these.
Paul Mitchell's credible.
You can only look at these guys' track record. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about everyone.
I've read a lot. It's just with I get what you're saying with Brailsford as well, because I think it's how the club looks at development and how the club looks at progressive futures for players, for contracts.
That's
if we're signing a player, team ethos, does this player align with what we are trying to do moving forward? I think we just have a few players that are just doing whatever it is, and I think that's why I'm saying I can't wait for the future. So for me, you know, this season isn't really about anything else apart from finishing strong and getting rid of the players that don't need to be there no more. Innit?
And the thing, what you're saying, is important because obviously, again, I don't know what Dave's background is in football or anything. He said that he hasn't got much or whatever, but he knows how to run a business and stuff, which is important. So Jim knows how to run a business. So the most important thing is, this is what Arsene Wenger said, Arsene Wenger said he said a term, hunger index. Hunger index, which basically means you've got to give players enough to represent their value, but not too much to take away their competitive hunger. Now, how many times have we seen that? We're currently going through it potentially with Marcus Rashford. We saw it potentially with Martial. We see it with potentially Luke Shaw. These type of guys, you saw it at Arsenal maybe with Ozil and Aubameyang and whatever. You give these guys too much money. What's the hunger for them? Naturally, what's the hunger? And that's what happens at Man United. Mason Mount, I don't know what's going on with him, but the guy's come in on like 220k. He's played 8 league games this season. Do you know what I mean? Like there needs to be this hunger index. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to ensure at Man United. That's why, unfortunately, Varane's are going to end up leaving. Casemiro's are going to end up leaving. We will see what happens with Jadon Sancho. He's probably going to end up leaving because we can never do what we did with Jadon Sancho again. Like, forget the whole Ten Hag situation. You cannot give a 21-year-old 300k. That is madness, bro. You know what I mean? He hasn't even earned that within the club because of what he did at another club. You gave him and made him one of the highest. You can't be doing that. So that's something that we need to handle, man. This wage situation, people need to be playing for their contracts. We see it in basketball all the time. Man are playing for their contract. I'm just paying to get paid. They're having their career seasons. Then all of a sudden they get paid and you never see them again. So it's important that we ensure that anyway. So I think that's massively important for us. But Spurs, quick prediction for that game?
I'm Are we at Old Trafford?
Yeah.
I think it will be 2-0. 2-1 to Spurs. I think 2-1 Spurs for me.
I'm going the same.
Yeah,
I think we're going to lose that game, actually. So Old Trafford's not been a fortress anyway, so it's not something that we can even say, oh, Old Trafford. So yeah, I think Spurs win as well. And I don't think there's any real other big games.
Newcastle, Man City.
Really?
Yeah, that's on Saturday.
Newcastle, the same Newcastle that we have become accustomed to lately.
I think Man City will tear them to shreds, if I'm honest. I think Man City are approaching. Kevin De Bruyne though, man, now he's back. Ooh. Yeah, that's the dagger.
Phil Foden,
Felipe Foden,
Phil Walter Foden.
Yeah, so I think it will be a. I think it will be a. If I was gonna give a score prediction for that, I think it will be a 3-0.
I'm gonna go a 2-1.
2-1.
I'm gonna go a 2-1 to Man City. Yeah, I'm gonna KDB back, Doku back, Foden's purring. They're just waiting for Haaland now as well. So yeah, I think this is where City start to kick on. I think this is where they start putting the league on notice and start pulling away. I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna say if they win, they're only 2 points behind Liverpool. I think Liverpool obviously will have a game as well, but Liverpool win that game. But yeah, okay, cool. So they're 5 points behind with a game in hand. We've seen City do this all the time. Have you seen City always deceptively give you a lead? Like they always like got 2 games in hand, and you're looking at it like, oh, we're 9 points clear. This is all of a sudden pop, 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 and next thing you know, they're top of the league. So yeah, man, I think they're gonna kick on. Let's see if Arsenal have Crystal Palace at home now. Arsenal have to win that game. If Arsenal do not beat Crystal Palace,
writings on the wall.
The table's turning, bro.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see Joe Beya.
Yeah, I saw him almost crying the other day, innit?
Yeah, no, do you know, I love watching his stories when he does his whole, in-game analysis of it. It's so good because the ending, I've never seen him so violent. Yeah. He done a main feed post about the team.
We'll collab post as well. No, 5
main feed.
He did collab.
That's so for more everyone. That's for the uncles in Kinshasa.
Yeah.
That's for everyone to see. He was vexed.
Yeah, somebody tried to talk to him on camera. He said, "Please."
Oh, that's the thought.
That's when his head was gone.
He said, "Please."
He said,
that's a proper uncle, isn't it?
Bro,
yeah. So our prayers go out to Joe Beya and his mental set at this precise moment. Hopefully he's good.
Yeah, but yeah, man.
Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed our first episode of 2024. Many more to come. Many watch-alongs to come as well. And then me and Cams might be doing something on the weekend.
Yes.
If we are, you'll see it everywhere. But yeah, New Year's resolutions, like Cams said, ballers, eye test.
This is what we're
doing. And Harry Pinero is no longer on the fence. Yeah, I've broken down the fence.
Come on.
With a chainsaw. Peace. You don't know.